Hello and welcome to Tech Simplified TV and a very warm welcome to the Semiconductor podcast. It's a Sunday morning and today our guest is Mr. Sanjeeb Mishra, Associate Director of L&T Semiconductor Technologies, and he is a proven leader and having experience of 25 plus years. So today we will talk regarding so many things. Uh, he is not only in technology, he believes in giving back to the society. We will talk about that. He is running an NGO. Technology, obviously, that will be the focus of our discussion because, as we all know, India is making journey to a new destination to become the self-reliant in semiconductor domain. And when we have a experienced leader, we must talk about that. So let's start. First, thank you, sir, for accepting our invitation. uh, we are
Thank you,
just
Munwan.
uh, we are just trying to ask questions which we want to know, and on our way we came to understand that many people have these same question in their mind. So now we are a community of like-minded people and we wait for the Semiconductor podcast, and you are our 38th guest.
Oh,
So
that's great.
thank you very much.
Yeah.
Yes,
Thank you,
hope
Munwan.
we
And
will have
you are doing a great job. When I look at your
yes.
podcast, it is a very different kind of podcast, and it is the need of the hour for our, what India is dreaming about in the semiconductor, in the technology field. So it's you started small, but now I feel that you are growing quite big. That's very good. Your podcast, give voices, opinions, and is connecting communities, which is very much essential not only for this country but also for this world. Yeah, so thank you
Yes,
for
sir.
giving me the opportunity.
Oh, thank you, sir. It's pleasure is ours actually. When we talk with an experienced person, it always we get to learn. And many youngsters, they are our mom. The major viewer base is youngsters, and they fresher. They need role model. They need because semiconductor. If you ask me, to me, technology is a way of living. It has philosophical impact on us. It's not just a 10 to 6 job. It's something more than that. Every three within 1.5 year or 2 year we have to upgrade, so we are always in learning process. We can never make it just a monotonous process. So when we get to understand the philosophy more deeply, life become easier. So this
True,
kind
true.
of talk is very important for all of us. So sir, we will
No, true, true.
I
So world,
must
yeah, sorry, you have rightly
yes,
said, right? So technology, pervades our life. You cannot run away from technology. Even if you go to jungle, you cannot run away from technology. So technology is always there, and definitely youngsters and other things they need. See, one there is a saying in Hindi, that bujurgo ka hosh and jawano ka josh, both is needed. So
exactly.
it is, so wisdom, technology, strength, what's happening, it is very important to be connected in this connected world, right? There is a jungle of information that is coming down. How to filter those information, that is quite the need. And many a time I'm finding that youngsters are befuddled, right? What to do, what not to do. There are so many things, right? When you go to a market which is full of fruits, you are basically lost what to eat. But suppose you are in a jungle, you get only one fruit, you eat that. Now today we have so many things, so we have to be very very careful in terms of technology. Technology is good thing as well as bad thing also. If you don't use it properly, it can destroy the
Exactly.
society, right?
Mm.
So anyway, yeah, please take it. It's your for Murmur. So but I intercepted and talked
No, no,
something.
sir. Fine, sir. So we will start with your journey. You spent more than decades in Kolkata, and actually, viewers, he is my senior from same university. He has studied in RP, the one of the most famous institution, radio physics and electronics. And when he studied, the university was studded with legends. As one day I was discussing with you, Professor A.K. Sen was your teacher. So he had amazing time in, I think, academically he had amazing time in RP. So sir, I would love to know how these things, everything started. Technology has so many aspects. How you landed in so many years ago in semiconductor? How?
Yeah. So that's very funny thing. And as you rightly said, fortunately, God put me into an institute where stalwarts from these industries were there, right? And also the university which I have, in very first time in the world, that is JC Bose. He made radio, right? So I belong to that same university. I have visited his lab. You can see his
Yes,
instrument. So that used to, give goosebumps. So
yes,
anyway, so
absolutely.
yes, so it is the God wish, right, in your life. But as you said, my journey, if you see, my journey started uh, in class 8, in fact, with electronics, when I broke my radio. And my father, who was a very silent, decent person, he never scolded any one of his children, but he, for the first time, he scolded me that you broke that radio. And then I tried to repair that radio, and it became more worst, and it becomes so worse that a technician refused to repair it. So in our home, that time, I am talking about 70s, one radio which is lost, right? Radio was a life that time, just like mobile, you know
Hmm.
and I was very sad that, and we did not belong to a very affluent family, right? We were the first, second level of migrants, right? And our economic condition was not that great that you lose a radio and you buy another one, right? So we have to suffer. And that's, put instilled in my mind, right, why I am not able to repair that radio. And while I trying to repair my radio, I took it to my bathroom at night and tried to see what I can open and which wire I can connect, all those things. So I was baffled with a lot of thing inside it, right? So before that, I used to think how the sound is coming. That's how the journey started. And then one of my friend was there. We started and went to a local market in Chandni and tried to get how to make that radio, right? And that time it cost 60 rupees to make a radio, big money, 60 rupees. And
Yes.
I I took that radio, brought one soldering iron, started making a radio from the kit, and that's how me and my friend we used to go on the top of the terrace. Right, it's made a one corner, secret corner, which we call that corner still exists. Right, and there I started making a radio without understanding. Right, just look at one manual, connect this, solder this, do that, and then I felt what are all these things. So I started reading books about what is how a radio works, what is transistor, even in class 8 and so, right? And that was a journey. We understood what is super heterodyne receiver, right? And everything, mind that everything was analog.
Hmm.
So a child curiosity started over there. Fortunately, I would say that I'm very fortunate. See, you can there is two way to look at the world. One way you can think that I am very unfortunate, I did not get that, I did not become that, I did not become Mark Zuckerberg, right? So there is no end to that. Another thing is that you can be very, very satisfied. So
Hmm.
my childish curiosity, I could pursue a career in that childish curiosity, right? And be into that, and really what are those aspects for which I was belonging. Fortunately, I could understand that, and that is a satisfaction level I have. So when in college, so I said no, electronics is my subject, that I understood now. So I started more and more, opening the TV, the valve TV, how it works, and those were so complex. And by the 10 or 12, we were more or less, in the whole area. If you remember, there was a time every area locality used to have one person. Anybody is having any technical issue, especially with antenna setting, right? Looking TV from Nepal or Bangladesh, how to set that antenna, why the ghost images are coming during cricket match. So there used to be one person and everybody used to call that. So I became that person of my area, where anybody is having any electronics problem, any TV, any radio not working, any machinery is not working, so that was giving a very sense of joy. And I was still in 12, right? And I don't have any idea about what is engineering, what is that. So just bringing a book. I have a lab. Everybody used to laugh, look at that lab. and I used to make certain light blinking, certain type of people. I used to show people a lot of things. Say for example, I made a big periscope. Okay. And that periscope, I used to peep into the other person house, and they say, hey, now you are cooking this thing, right? I can see you. And they were, and everybody used to come in the house, and they used to see how a periscope work. Okay. So so those type of then I made a telescope, and with that telescope I started into astronomy, sky watching. So there was a association of people who used to do star watching, stargazing, right? So then
Mm,
we used to bring our people in my area, and then show them the mountains of the the moons, right? Then the Andromeda galaxies. So that was giving some sort of joy and other things. Then one of my aunt says that you are doing all these things, that's quite good, but you should also focus on studies, because unless you become engineer. I said, what is engineer, how do you do? So then he said that after 12 only, so I was in 12, after 12 only you used to get into the engineering, right? So that's how that time the world was not so connected, right? And then I said, okay, I must study also. So and fortunately, by god way of things, without much study, I was also a good decent student in my school. And frankly speaking, the classes were sufficient that time. So
yes.
yeah, I was not very, so I was. And then I used to like teaching also. If someone is struggling, right, I used to say, okay, I will teach you. That's why fun sort of things that I can explain. So the challenge was how you can explain someone in a way that he understands. So that I continue till now also. Whenever I get opportunity, I teach people, right? Poor people, sometimes rich people, whoever is struggling, right? In my community also, I started something where people can reach out to me. So that was the starting of the career, and how then I took up engineering, right? Definitely there was only few options that time. I went to the Raja Bazar Science College, and you won't believe that was like that time. We started. It was a lot of analog everywhere, right? So
Mm,
you need to do mathematics, understand analog. But always my aim was, whatever I was studying, my aim was to first understand radio and TV, how it works. Because that was my whole objective, that how radio, and then I mastered the subject when I entered over there. I mastered the subject, understood all the heterodyne receiver and other things. And then when I passed out for my internship, I joined Philips, right? And fortunately, it was all of that time. If you remember, Philips was one of the big company who was making TV,
yes.
analog TV, and other things, right? So understanding those complex circuitries, right? Those working at 2 kilovolt of CRT tube, understanding those principles, looking at those principles from your own eyes, and able to tweak around those things, right? So that was one of the I was always feeling that I am fortunate, I wanted to learn TV. But when I joined internship, when I joined my college, then I understood that the world is so big. It's not just TV and radio, right? So I started understanding protocols. I understanding the TV protocol, that PAL TV, NTSC TV, what are those protocols? So deep dive, slowly you started deep diving into that. Then took up electronics, microcontrollers. And so it was, I never took something, my career, as something as a burden which I have to do for the living, somehow get a job. It was some sort of passion getting fulfilled. So that's my short journey, right? And then after Philips, I did my again. I thought that let me complete my higher studies, so I did my masters from the same institute. Right there, I took up. I got introduced to microelectronics, VLSI, those type of things, and after that, I joined Webel. Webel is a West Bengal electronics a government of West Bengal. So there also I started working on many things. I was introduced, and you won't believe I was given a work which probably nobody there was interested in doing. But I was saying, I went to my boss and said, I want to do something innovative. And they were doing, many things like your for All India Radio audio mixer, for Doordarshan video mixers. So I felt that these are very easy things, so I should be doing something innovative, right? So, and then so my boss said, would you like to take a project which is, you can have success, you can have failure. So I said, what is that? So they said that there is a professor, I would PK Das, Dr. PK Das of Jadavpur University. He is trying to develop a Braille printer. Can you work with him? A lot of people have tried and it was not very successful. So if you want, you can try to work with the Braille printer with him. So I said, no, I will take that. This is a new thing. Something new is there. So I will. So we worked together. So his lab in Jadavpur University used to develop the software, and I used to develop the embedded controllers and the hardware. And that time, you won't believe, it was so nice, right? So it got immediately, it got success, right? There were media came, TV came, Doordarshan came, that we have developed a Braille printer which is working, right? We were also awarded, if you remember that time, the government of India, Atal Bihari Vajpayee was the prime minister. He announced something called it was Jai Vigyan, right?
Okay.
So just like we have today India Semiconductor Mission, that time, Jai Vigyan was very, very, the Jai Vigyan, in that Jai Vigyan, there was a scheme called PATCR, program aimed at technological self-reliance. So on those programs, all those companies who are developing, the government was supporting those companies who was doing something innovative. And our project was picked up, and I was the verbal representative for that, and it was awarded a president award for this printer which is useful for the blinds. So
Hmm.
if you remember the Braille printer, earlier the thing was the Braille printing was done with hand only. So only very few booklets are available for the blind people, right? And with these printers you can print thousands of books like that. So that is my short journey over there. And then as a young engineer, everyone has some aspirations. So I thought, Kolkata, I was not getting that opportunities. That means, so I went to Delhi, joined HFCL, right, in a telecom domain. And those, so those are my initial journey. So I started working in telecom. Like telecom was a big thing that time, right? Again, lot of innovation was happening. Next generation of network backbone, everything was established
Yes.
in that time, right?
Hmm.
So it was a very good journey, I would say, where your childhood's passion ultimately landed up in something which you can make it as a living, right? So that is my journey so far.
Okay. Very nice. And many time I have heard these references about alumni of radio physics, that not many common people used to understand what is radio physics. So most of them used to think that might be something with repairing or making radio. So it was a very common popular joke in Rajabaja Science College. Yes, so when you are saying, I was remembering that also. So when so
Right, right.
there.
So just I will again interrupt here. Here, my family were not very happy when I joined radio physics, right? And the reason was the same as you said. They said that I was very much aware about radio astronomy, as you said, right? As I've told earlier, I used to make telescope, so I think that the radio astronomy is very good. I should understand those big type of antennas, understand all the electromagnetic waves. So I was very much excited that that's the career I have to choose, no other thinking, right? So, but family was not very happy because they are saying the radio is all going out. You should at least learn TV. So, is there any institute for TV engineering? You are joining radio. Then I try to explain, no, no, radio is not like that much. So, yeah, so some sort of not so, what you call that. It was not a very white collar thing to say that you are studying radio engineering. Yeah.
Yes. So in our industry, your career is always like that. You started your journey with liking, having, I mean, the curiosity to understand radio, how radio and TV works, and then to communication, you made telescope and all. Still, I mean, throughout your career, you have evolved. Still, the industry you are in, it's evolving. How you keep yourself so, I mean, flexible after 25 years? keeping yourself flexible. What is your mantra? How you do it? I mean, keeping pace with the changing technologies. And because when you are a manager and a mentor, you have to know what you are doing, how you guide your team. So what is your mantra?
Okay. So first of all, my mantra would be, see, I would tell you, if you go to a boarding cinema, in half an hour you are tired, right? But if you go and look at your reels, mobile reels, for hours after hours, you can look at it without getting tired, right? Do you crib
Trending
about that?
also.
Oh my God, today I have to watch 4 hours of reel. No, right? But we spend 4 hours without just understanding. If you enjoy something, it is no work at all. When you don't enjoy, then you think that it is my work and this is not my work, and you get tired into that. When you play cricket, right, for 4 hours, 5 hours, nobody is getting tired. But if I give you Excel and ask you, please load the data of all the people who we have interviewed, what is their qualification, what is their this, and all those things, in just in half an hour work, you will get tired in that half an hour. But you can play cricket through it in the sun without any infrastructure, without anything. So that is it. If you enjoy your work, I always insist on my team, right? I am there to guide as much as possible. Enjoy the work. Work is, if you say I am doing it just for surviving, just somehow do it of the day, no. Then you will get tired. Then you will say that, I otherwise there is nothing. It may be controversial, but then there is nothing called Saturday, Sunday, or any night, or you just have to manage. Families, when you grow old, you have family, you have kids, right? At the same time you have work, right? Now the technology has given us the opportunity that you can virtually connect and do many things. That's one side. Second is, so you should be very much passionate about what you are doing. You will not never get tired, right? Second is, there is, as I've said initially, there is a jungle of information. You have to be very, very organized. Otherwise, you will lost in that jungle, right? You may die also. In a jungle, if you lose a path, right? You are
You may
going
die.
for a trekking, right? You are enjoying the trekking, that's fine. But if you don't organize yourself, right, with all the data, with you, I'm sure, have you done trekking in a unknown region? No.
No.
So I have done a lot of trekking. So if you do trekking, right, you have to be very, very careful that, what is the map, what is the direction. Map is on paper. When I go really over there, what are the trees that I will see, how I will choose the path. Because if you make a wrong path, right, in this jungle of information, you will get lost. So you have to organize yourself very meticulously. Okay, today I have seen these videos, I have to continue with this. What is your way of organizing those information, right? So this is the two mantra I will say, that for anyone, especially youngsters, right? Youngsters are good to give gyan, right? It's always, they listen. uh, so that would be my take, that please be passionate about what you are doing. Everything in this world is enjoyable, right? There is nothing called, we generally think, that that person is doing a greater work and I am doing just something like that. It is not like that. Your work, every work that you are doing, it has a scope of innovation, right? The way you do the way things. And frankly speaking, if you do all these two things, right, passionate, be organized, there will be someone who will observe you, and they will lead you, right? Right. That's what, they one thing is said, the respect is uh, commanded, not demanded. Similarly, you don't have to tell someone, hey, I have done so many things, right? Even the worst manager, if you are good doing something, he will need you. And he will say, I may not like him, but he is doing a great work for me, so he will ultimately mend his way. So that will be my mantra, to say, that's, yeah.
Okay. So, sir, now it's like AI, chiplet, IoT. So many new avenues are opening up. So, the way, how do you see this global technology and semiconductor landscape is evolving? And at the same time, since you have seen so many transitions of technology, so what, according to you, that next major leap that is coming to us. What is your opinion on that?
Okay, it's a very broad thing, but yeah, everybody, there are a lot of people working on this innovation, what's not coming up, another thing. But my looking at the industry and talking to, my friends who have reached many places, good top levels, one of the thing definitely is that AI is going to make disruptions, right? Disruption for the society will definitely gain, but as a professional, right? What is going to be killed and what is not going to be killed, it is very difficult to say, right? India has traditionally been a fabulous semiconductor because and it is not just a one day somebody wished and it become, right? 30-40 years of investment in terms of infrastructure, colleges, the ecosystem what in India has been there. And uh, so whatever is the reason, right, semiconductor is a very deep pocket game. It's not a very anybody with few crores will just land up and start a business. It's not like that, right? He has to be on top of understand the economy, right, understand the technology, and then he have the money. Three things he has to understand, then only he can jump into semiconductor. So because traditionally India has been in the fabless, right, there is a lot of disruption coming into the fabless, right? Some of them could be good, some of them could be bad, right? Because here we were most of the companies were relying on the sheer number of manpower, not the quality of the manpower, right? So they were counting on increasing the number. Now the same agentic AI is I am seeing over here, people are coming and giving presentation, a lot of companies international, everybody is coming with solutions where things that would have been done with 100 people, they are now it is possible with 5 people, 10 people, right? So those disruption is happening, so companies has to adopt to that, right? But then another thing is there is that things, see, for example, how technology help. Earlier people who were very very good in English, they were only able to write blogs and other things, right?
Hmm.
Then Google came, auto correction happened, and then you don't have to be perfect in, you can grammarly and other things will correct your grammar as well, right? So technology helped someone, right? So people who were not able to do previously certain thing are now able to do certain thing. Similarly with this AI, right, you may say that on one side lot of people will, but then it will open up many things where with minimum information you can do a lot of things. So definitely AI is one thing that is going to change. It is started changing, it has changed a lot of things, right? And semiconductor, it cannot be what you call that uh, uh, it cannot be untouched by AI. So that is one of the things I am seeing is that AI is going to be there. And then a lot of new technology you might have been hearing which is also coming up, lot of things in communication, and mostly most of them will be driven by AI, right? So networking, communication, it is no longer simple point to point protocol connectivities. Lot of analysis of traffic and other thing, and AI is helping that. That will change. Quantum is one thing which is giving a lot of good careers, right, which is there. And for India, which we has recently gone into manufacturing and mostly in packaging, so those are the areas which are which are the next things that will happen. So chiplet, as you said, chiplet, uh, it is a future, nobody can deny that, but the problem is the economics of chiplet are still not very well understood.
Hmm.
Okay, so basically, chiplet is, I would see that like that. Whatever you were doing with IC and functionality on the board, that is now getting into inside the package, right? But the cost is still very very disruptive cost. So not everybody, unless you have a huge volume, right? So that chiplet integration itself is costly. So that's why I said, right, you have to understand technology, you have to understand economics, right? And you have then you only, and then on top of that, you have to have a lot of deep pocket money, right? To jump into semiconductor. These are the little constraint of the semiconductor. So chiplet, though, if there is a buzzword chiplet, right, everywhere, it is coming up, but only the big players are able to use the chiplet. That's my, but yeah, but there are some others, small thing integration is happening. But so I feel in my, if someone asks me, I'm not a philosopher to, or someone Nostradamus to predict something, but chiplet will take another 10 years to be a very commodity type of thing. The cost is little still prohibitive. That's my small understanding.
Okay. So now we'll talk about, I mean, the way India is taking this new journey. I mean, the way we are preparing for this. So, the way we are progressing, what is your opinion? How long it will take for us? There are two things. The way we are already well established player in design sector. Now new that manufacturing sector is getting set up. That is one thing. So till now the syllabus and everything, our mindset was also aligned with that. Entering, if we are entering VLSI, it means design sector. Now a new set of people or set of workforce is required for this manufacturing sector also. So overall, what is the picture? How do you get, I mean, you are connected with obviously you are at a position of associate director. Your batchmates or your uh, contemporaries, they are also in leading positions. What is your, the picture you are getting in official meets and unofficial talks? Because I always get you are for 25 years you are in this area. When you are talking in unofficial talk also, sometimes this kind of words are coming. So what is the picture you are getting? Where are we heading?
So yeah, so I have great belief. See, first of all, where are we, right? So there can be positive and negative way to look at the things, right? Are we there or not? I would say no. I am. My take is I'm a very small man, right? So my take is that we are not there, frankly speaking. As you said, right, we have everybody for the last 30, 40 years, the technology and Indian ecosystem has looked into thing in certain way, right? And there was a mad rush, right? Our institutions have, you know probably many, not all, but probably have changed into a vocational training type of thing where the only objective is to give job, right? Not the advancements of technology, right? There are some institute, few, right? That's so, they are, there is a madness now. Everybody, computer science is giving a good job, okay, everybody come into computer science, right? And then in computer science, what type of job we are getting, right? That is irrelevant for them, and they are showcasing that we have given this much salary. So providing job was the aim of the institution, all things, and they were successful till now, right? But my feel is that, so that's what I'm on a negative side thing. But now these things are getting going to be disturbed, right? AI is making to go disruptions. If we are not ahead in technology in certain areas, right, will be laid back, right?
Okay.
So now, having said that, will is also very important. I would say, think about, uh, before 2018 or 19, right? You ask anybody, can semiconductor manufacturing or semiconductor thing happen in India, right? Right? Oh, no, 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 no. Everybody used to say, no, it's not impossible. We are not technologically advanced. Cannot beat China. We cannot do all these things. Everything negative, right?
Mhm.
But when, you know, suddenly in 4 or 5 years, the environment has changed. And at
Yes,
least, yes, at least I would not say that we are on top of the thing, we are on latest and greatest technology, but at least that notion that India cannot do it, that is gone, right? And
yes, yes,
okay,
absolutely.
and I would say, just look at how our India, businessman ecosystem, does things during COVID. Just in a whole semiconductor is about supply chain, right? Nobody
Yeah.
can deny that, right? And how you fit the lowest bill in that supply chain in a given small amount of time, That is what is the required. And everybody says big, Harvard University graduates and management gurus, right? They are always struggling with those type of management, the worldwide integration. But think about, so India is a poor country, right? What we have, we do not have a great such institute. But then look what happened during COVID, right? Whole world was paralyzed. Nobody knew what to do, right? On top of that, right, India has 1.4 billion people. Can you
Mm,
imagine one managing 1.4 billion people, right?
huge.
Huge. Then what India did, you just see. Not
Mm,
only it developed system within a short time, through Ayushman Bharat, tracking of people, SMS notification, energizing the local municipality about who is COVID, who is not COVID, isolation of the areas, right? And on top of that, we started developing our own vaccines, right?
vaccine.
And
We
not only we
provided
did,
to the African countries also.
right? Not only Africa, many other countries, right?
Many other
Now,
countries, and specifically I remember because one of the leader from, I think, South Africa, she said that we were at the last in the line. Everyone forgot us. India
right,
remembered us. They helped
correct,
us.
right?
So that
And correct,
sentences echoed in my ears. Yeah.
right? And then there were so many naysayers, right? That this is
Mm,
not verified or not, is not human trialed and so many things, right? So now you look at it, if India and 1.4 billion people, right? You make a marriage of 200 people, right? Your whole, for last 2 months before and 2 months after, your mind is blocked with the just managing 200 guests, right?
mm,
Right? And here in India, we managed 1.4 billion people, everyone vaccinated. So don't go into the actual number, but I'm saying a huge 1.4 billion means huge, a mammoth amount of the things, right?
mm,
Now, in the situation when what was the situation when nothing is moving, no transportation is happening, nothing, no logistics, right? Worldwide, you have to get all the PPP, right? PPE. India was not manufacturing even the plastic PPE, right?
mm.
And in that situation, you imagine the Indian ecosystem, we developed everything in a short amount of time and not only fulfilled our own requirement, we started delivering to the world. If we
Yes.
have so much of potential, right? I have a strong belief that semiconductor is nothing, right? To go into semiconductor, I will tell you in 6 months you will understand what is semiconductor, right? I have a great belief. But then, yes, as you have said, there are few areas we have to, greatly come together and look into it. Our academics and other things, in my belief, there are some, right? But then we have still are very far ahead from the industry, right?
Mm.
There is,
Yes,
you
that's
know,
a big.
and there is I see a two world of egos. One is industry who looks at the academic in a very different way, and another is academic who looks at the industry in a very different way, right? So that bridge has to be merged. There is a, you know,
Yes.
so there
Proper
has,
industry academia collaboration, just keeping in mind that we need to flourish as a self-reliant in semiconductor domain, that we need to do because it's incomplete without academia and industry supporting each other. It's the whole thing will not
yes.
ever happen.
Right.
Yes.
So in certain area you will see that industry is quite ahead of the academia, especially India. If you see in certain area, you will see that academia is quite ahead. And when I look into out of India, especially in the European countries and not much I understand about US, but many of the European countries, their outlook is academia, the knowledge, and it should come to foster something into the industry, right? Their technical readiness of the researches they are doing, it's quite high. It's ready for. So we have to go there now. To do that, in India there is one very I would say that mindset that we have to change, right? We think that people who study, who know things, they should be very much aware from the market and economics, right? Share market is a bad word, right? That's now if you don't do all this, so this we have to change, right? There is a, unless you understand the market, unless you understand what are the companies who is going up and down and what are they doing, right? How, if you don't understand economic, how you will focus which I should do, which will, if my research is taking certain thing to make in next 5 years, right? What is the thing that I will have to take?
Yeah, exactly. Hmm.
Now everybody is Nvidia, so I should go and start making Nvidia. If I don't understand what the company of the worlds who are there, right, whose share price is going up and whose share price is coming down, and what is the reason for that coming up and down, if you don't understand that, you are basically then closing your eyes and just want to, right? So all this, and then on top of this, it gives a huge opportunity. See, in semiconductor technology itself has a huge opportunity. Consider marketing. Is anyone looking about what is the semiconductor market, how the semiconductor market works, right? What are the scope? Huge opportunities. We are crying here for the jobs, right? And then these companies are looking that they are not finding people. Semiconductor marketing is a very, people are, you don't get people around that who can understand that market, how that market works, right? How to sell a thing, what is the price certain things should have, right? You will just follow, you make a great thing, I can send a human packed into a capsule from, this earth to that earth, right? Teleportation, we can work on that. But if you don't understand the economics, yeah, your research will not go in a proper direction,
Hmm.
right? So we have to understand, unless, the technology cannot be devoid of economy and your local environment. So that would, I would say, that that bridge has to be, closed between academia, between industry, between government also, right? Everyone has to come together. Yeah. Go ahead.
Industry always run the way market is going up and down, keeping look at that. When you talk about market and economy in an academic institute, they try to avoid. They are a little bit sensitive about all these words. They just want to know tools, how to run the tools, how to use tools from Synopsys, Cadence, Siemens, all tools. They just want to learn tools. Why should I learn the tool? And what is inside? In fact, to some extent, people are really, I have found that people really reluctant to understand that it's basically physics, and that's substantiated by mathematics which is inside the tool. That's why tool is helping us. So that is the core. Why a tool run in certain way? Not interested. Want to learn only how to run the tool. Just tool. Don't need to understand why I should learn that tool, because that is useful, because market demand is that, and why it's demanding. Not even want to understand that. It's a kind of, they're very touchy and sensitive when you talk about any, this is the
There is a
marketing and
balance
give
for
example.
everything, right?
No, don't want to understand. I
Right.
think when I was doing research in university, I was also like that. After entering university industry, I started to realize that there is the biggest motivation behind everything. The bigger wheels are running just because market, because that is the thing that giving us money. So
No, you
uh,
take it. No, for example, you just talked about chiplet, right? Now, if I say that chiplet is the next, greatest and latest thing, right, with all the interfaces, all the protocol, UCIes and other things, right, I will focus over there, right? But if you don't understand the economics of it, right, then what, who is going to take your, so that is what you should, they call that, technical readiness of the of your research, at what TRL level your research is, right? Whether your research is going to, there has to be balance, right? You cannot be completely fundamental, you cannot be completely devoid of anything that the industry need. I say, if you say that I will not work for, so, similarly, the industry also has to, look and ask the, and that some time ago, they were doing, industries were doing it. They were asking the, universities to research. Right now also it is happening. I'm not saying it is happening, but it has to happen in the next level, I would say, looking at the market condition. All those things has to be done. Yeah.
So now I will ask about a issue which is close to my heart. That is, what will happen to Eastern India? Do we have any chance? Why? Why do not have any chance in Kolkata, Bihar? I mean, West Bengal, Bihar, Jharkhand, Orissa. Orissa is booming. If Orissa can, why cannot we? Why not Patna or Kolkata? Why not? What should we do? Especially, um, you are from Kolkata, basically from Bihar, from spent a huge time in Kolkata, started your career in Kolkata, then she moved to. There are so many well established, successful technical persons are there. So where we are lagging? Your words, your voice,
No,
it has a weightage. Please say something.
no,
I
no,
think
it is not
it,
that
it must
easy
reach
that
to those years who can do it. It should
no, no,
reach.
no, no. So it's not that simple, right? Then everybody, if it were so simple, then everybody would have come with a solution, right? But then looking, everybody has a potential, right? I would say for everything we can blame the government at one thing. See, government is a very powerful entity. Without the guidance of the government, it's not very focused. But unfortunately, uh, the government in a democratic setup works on based on what people understand and needs, right? If you talk about semiconductor to a voters, right, how does it does not, very much
Appeal.
ring appeal and ring to them, right? So why would a politician focus over there? So politician will spend 200 crores in making a bridge which may not be necessary, but just because certain set of people are demanding it, right? They can enable 10, 15 crores. But if you ask a government to give 10, 15 crores to someone who is making a technology, right, it is a huge amount. He will give you 20 lakhs, 25 lakhs, 50 lakhs. Now, for semiconductor and technology driven companies, it's just nothing, right? It's very, as I said, right? So you can spend, government can spend on certain things, which can tomorrow some rain will come and a small bridge which has cost some 2 crores, it will wash away. So those type of projects can be taken, but supporting industry. So it is very easy to blame government, but government has to take a lead role when someone has to come. And if you don't have that money, right, then we have to bring in people, right, from support people, who are willing to that, right. That diaspora connection, right, and definitely, as you said, say Kolkata, it has a huge legacy, huge talented set of people. It can be done, right, in India also. Every state has a lot of talented people over there. So we can do that. So that's one thing. Second, what I am seeing, one of the thing is that uh, cohesion between, various organization, right, that also has to become, and which we, when I look at Europe, that's where I am, seeing how they are different. See, take a European country, right, take a European country, say in any Nordic company, anything, right, Finland you take, right, a small set of village, maybe, how don't know, 20, 25 village, 1,000 people. 1,000 is a big number. 200 people will get together. They will build something. You see, Nokia, how, where is the situation, right? It is a leader of the telecom. How many people started with that? You think that it required huge get together, right? That collaboration is very much lacking, right? See, we have a lot of association in India, right? This society, their association, but working, groups, consortium. The working group are mostly consortium. That I feel is very much lacking. Not only in what I'm saying is in eastern part of India, it is true everywhere, right? Unless the success of these technology is happen, if you think that one university will understand everything, it's not possible,
Mm-hmm.
right? You have to make a working group consortium, and for that, the money, the buying, right, you have to have such a protocol. The government can only define that protocol, right? So that, those things are very, very possible, right? Now every university want to become an independent semiconductor manufacturing thing, then it is not possible, right? So now government has taken a lot of steps, right, throughout the India, right? World is connected. It is not that earlier, if you want to make a small piece of equipment, it used to take 6 months, right? Now it is not like that. You have a lot of good ecosystem. You can find it Amazon. You order it, you can come it next day, right? So it is much better right now. So,
Mm-hmm.
but even though, but the other world, part of the world have also improved. If the things have come to your area, it has become very easy for you, then it is also easy for other countries also, right? So how do we do? We have to make working consortium, working group, right? Which is very much lagging. I feel that, I may not be, I may be wrong. I don't have that good understanding of the whole thing, but that is where I see,
The
where
gap.
we gap I see, where we get together, we may start making government policies, right? As you say, then semiconductor again is very, very, you know opex intensive, right? If you in a fabless, it is very opex intensive. It means operational cost, right? Again, now the person who want to investors also, they also, because they don't understand the investor, see, they are
Yes.
ready to invest in something which is software, which can give them something possible output which people can understand. But if you talk about semiconductor, I want to develop a IP, right? A investor will come and just you will show him that I don't have anything, I have a what you call a laptop, and my IP is inside that laptop, and you give me 5 crores. He will not understand that, and he will not give you 5 crores, right? So that is the problem. Okay. So how do we these things have to be, unless we have symposium, unless you have, as you said, see, a child curiosity happens and then only drive that, right? So that also
Mm.
from the child in China is doing that. China is, inculcating all these technology driven things, understanding from the very childhood, right? We have the, everybody want to put everything into the child. That's true also on one way. Politician want to make them, align to their thought. Similarly, as a technology, if you go to a poet, he will think that, a child should be taught all the poetry in the class 7 only, right? So it is a balance, right? But then technology, because it gives you livelihood, it is just not a thing which, just to show and flag off, and it is a feather in the cap. It is for survival, right? If you today in semiconductor, everyone knows, right? In semi, you are seeing the recently, you just forget about, the supply chain disruption that happened during the COVID. Right now, see Germany, what is happening? Go and see the news, right? In German, how, a company, China and Europe, they are struggling. A company is, struggling to survive, and so much job loss is happening within month. It's not taking years for, the disruption to affect you. Supply chains broken. Only China is supplying certain thing. Now, see from the defense perspective, India defense and other things, how much equipment, everything is now. Can you tell me a thing which is not electronically controlled? Can you tell me a thing which is not electronic control? Everything is electronically controlled, right?
Yes.
And where are we? Where are we? Tomorrow, if your supply chains government, somebody knows that you have a particular critical part going into some of your aircraft or some of your tanks, right? And that supply is disrupted, right? So what will happen there? So we have to bring that, we have to work together, we have to increase our level, right? A university, you know, if you don't have particular skill, right? If you don't have particular skill, you should, take it. So a good collegium, not collegium is not the right word, a consortium, right, has to be done on that. And then you see, you can copy. It's nothing a new model, right? You can see what European universities are doing. Belgium's, right, IMAC, right? How beautifully now they are the leading thing worldwide. They are providing all the information, latest and greatest technologies, right?
Mm.
If they can do, why not in India? But problem is we are so far away from the academics, and industry is so far away, right? That that's not happening because we were not having much Indian companies. Most of the Indian companies were serving to the US companies, right? still
Private
they are,
limiteds, yes.
right
And they are
now.
tied with the INCs, yes. Oh, yeah.
Yes, and now companies are coming up which is making their own Indian products, right? So things are improving, but those are the
Mm,
areas we have to work together, and that's how it can happen in eastern part of the India. Now again, in India, eastern part is still less costly. The cost of living is
yes.
less. So that is one of the area where we can leverage, right? There are a
Yes,
lot of
obviously.
good universities are there,
Mm,
right? So it can be leveraged lot of. And see, cost has become a very, in semiconductor, cost is a very sensitive thing. If you can
mm.
provide certain abilities within your geographies, people will go toward that, right? So India has picked up something, but then there are test engineering related things where a lot of gap is still there. Worldwide there is a gap on test engineering. Everybody know how to design it, how to test it. It require manual effort, manual people understanding instruments, right? So those areas are still gap where uh, yeah, Munmun, are you there? Okay, Mun, I think I
Some
lost you.
problem is there. Yeah. No, no. Yeah, I
Yeah,
can
yeah,
see you.
okay, okay,
Some problem is I can hear you throughout. No problem.
okay,
I
okay,
can see you
that's
also.
yeah.
Something
So
happened from
Munmun,
my end. Mm.
okay, okay, yeah. So cut shorting your discussion, a lot of opportunities are available,
Mm,
right?
mm,
in
mm.
in eastern India, it is still a low cost area compared to other part of evolved ecosystem in India, right? And they are struggling with cost. So we can, East India can play, but many other countries, cities of India can also play that role, right? So huge
Yes.
opportunities exist in
Distributed. I mean, the clusters, it should not be clustered in one, two, or three cities because we have a population. I mean, how it happens that every students from every city migrate to one city only. I mean, that becoming ridiculous day by day. So why not? I mean, only pressure in one or two city, and the city is engulfing the adjacent regions and growing and growing. Communication, in fact, communication between across the city becoming horrible. So it's always good to have the balance in the other part. So hope
Yeah,
one day
because of
we-
because see, right now it is a way, the time of reels and information flowing here, and everybody understands where it is, right? So the shifting information flow is very fast, right? So where people are getting job, where you see your career, everybody will go over there, right? Uh,
mm,
and then we get trapped into those situations,
mm,
right?
it's
So
good.
definitely, see, that's what European model should be followed, right? What is the difference between now a village and a city? There's not much difference, right? Why we want to concentrate everything in a city? Why not a semiconductor company or a fabless company can open in a small town? What is the difference, right? Not much difference, right? Everything is reachable, you are connected, right? But then manpower become a challenge, right? Nobody wants to go over there, right? So
Mm,
now bigger organization which have larger social responsibilities, they should look at it, right? How I can open up my center in a small, three tier cities, right? Or those type of things. That is more important than but then organization, private company, everybody is looking for profit, right? They are not here for social
exactly.
cause, right? So then where do we find the resources very easily? In certain places you find resources very easily, so they try to go over there. So very difficult for a small startup to go and do it in some small cities, but then bigger companies can definitely offload certain thing and develop ecosystem. uh, Nowadays everybody, the life in villages, I belong to village, I go over there, right? Life in village is much better than a life in a city, right? Nowadays, because see, how much do you go? Mall and everything are everywhere, right? And how much people want to youngster. But then again, when I talk to many good people who want to come back to the villages, their only challenge is you know education of their kids, They said I can come back to this one. I can work if my company has a office in certain town, small town. I can come over there. But my kid who is in say 8 or 9, he will or she will not get a good education. So then again he migrates to the city. He doesn't want to go there. So these are the challenges. So everything is connected to many things, right? So we have to look into the holistic way, and that would be my answer to your question, that what we can do in east of India. It's not that easy to answer. Yeah.
Yes, it's a critical condition.
Yeah.
Sir, just in, I know you are running out of time, you have a meeting.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
just in a few sentences, if you tell about your, the way you are personally giving back to the society. I must say that you are doing a commendable job by promoting the Madhubani art. It's an beautiful thing. I have a painting, Madhubani painting in my house, so I know it's beautiful. So please tell us about your NGO.
Okay. Okay. So see, the thing that occurred to me, uh, is that we all try to get from the society. My college should be this much, my city should be this much, my government should be like this, and they should support me, right? At the center is me, and I should earn so much, right? Now, definitely earning is required, right? Now, what is the earning where you will get satisfied? That there is a philosophical questions coming to me. At what earning you will say that I have enough? Can Adani say that he has enough? Can
Don't know.
can Nobody can say, nobody has enough, frankly speaking. Then when you don't have enough, so should I wait? I was, when I was through the childhood, I was seeing a lot of problem, and I was of my opinion that one day I will earn enough to support people, these poor people, something. When I see someone who is not able to get educated, right, I used to feel that I should have so much of money that I should do that. But then before giving it to someone, I should have first that much, right? That was a wrong notion which in the last couple of years, right, I changed. You can always give back to the society, always, right? Uh, you always give back to the society. And with that notion I started, right? And then when I look into where you can make an impact, right? I want to change the whole of India. It's not possible, right? uh, so look it here and there, that with, and I look at a life as a, as a, what you call that, spiritual journey, right? That is my take, that when you take a journey, this life is a spiritual journey. You are getting
Hmm.
some experiences, right? And with that experience what you are getting, right, you should give back. That is your nature. You are supposed to give experience to the other, right? And where you can make little impact. So that way, where I could do something, then I found that my village is very poor, right? There people don't have much employment opportunities, what we can see. Then I found out that that region of Madhubani, the Mithila painting, right, that is very, and they have a very good, people are well satisfied in their village, and their life is much much better than our city dwellers life, right? So how we can support them economically? So then I found that I can at least take up these, and there is also and this time, lot of people talk about sustainability, right? Environment and sustainability. We have to learn from the villages. There I found that the villager with the grass, there is something called golden grass. They are making such a beautiful baskets, and such a designer basket out of that, right? And with that, their expectation is just to earn 200, 300 rupees per day, not more than that. Just imagine, right? Their life will be much beautiful than yours and ours if they earn 500 rupees a day, right? Because they are so much integrated with the nature, right?
Hmm.
They don't, right? They pick up something which is growing in the tree, and they will not only they have it for themselves, they will also distribute to five other villagers. That today I got a, suppose what you call that, lauki, right? Today my tree gave the lauki, so he will not keep everything for himself. He will have it half, and half he will give it to five other families,
Hmm.
right? That is sustainability. Everything for yourself is not sustainability. right? And then so that's how I started looking at the society that I should give back. And then these Madhubani paintings and Sikhi arts, right? These are the great thing which we can preserve our culture also, right? And our youngsters, young kid, they should not be always attracted to all this materialistic world. They should also have some sense of what a art is, right? What a and one another thing I would say that in villages, boys, what I saw, right, they have some engagement or others, right? They go to at least to go to play cricket. Full day they are playing cricket or something. What about the girls? What they are doing, right? Their girls, I found that they are doing only two things, only household chores, nothing beyond that. And in the free time, they are watching reels, right? Nowadays, now I said, this is a huge waste of resources, our right. And if you so then I thought, why not give them this opportunity that they make the Madhumari painting in their leisure time, right? And they are started doing that. And then but we have to support them by somehow selling them, so that the money learning itself will not help, right? And they have, so that's how my NGO started working in that area. And I'm trying to, I have a setup where I'm training some 20-25 girls, women, right, to learn and sell that. So, and not only that, I'm also, making, there is a communication class goes on. See, another problem of our societies are girls are very, very shy. City
Hmm.
girls cannot be that shy. But if you go to villages, right, they know everything, but they will not speak up, right?
And barrier
So
is there.
barrier is there, right? So I
The,
started
you
giving them.
know that society, our society is also responsible for it, because a very upright and very straightforward woman is always get judged, even in
Yes,
city, even in corporate.
right.
ज्यादा बोलना नहीं चाहिए. That phrase is tagged. So I'm a very talkative person. I have faced throughout my life. So
No, no.
now
I
I'm
think
I'm
cities
doing
is much
podcasts.
better. Yeah,
I'm
cities
doing
are much.
podcasts. I talk to many people. I don't disturb my family members.
Right, right, right. So one of that is the things I found in that, so in this initiative, I see what is happening. Women are beaten up in their houses, but they
Yes.
don't speak. They don't speak out,
Mm-hmm.
right? So even in the worst condition, they don't speak out. Even in the best condition, they don't speak out. So communication, bringing out women out of, especially in the villages. See, city, there are many people. They watch many things. They observe many things.
In
But
city, it's
but
like in
in village
villages.
is
I
very, very different, right? So in my this NGO, we also, as we try to give some sort of livelihood and get them trained. And also another thing is that you become expressive, you express yourself, right? So that is
Right.
what we do. Some, we have some international volunteers also. They work, they are giving. So that's why I ask, my volunteer, I always look for volunteers. In a month, you don't have to do, you know to start with, right? You give 1 hour in a month, that itself is sufficient. And in
Okay.
European university, and even from the colleges, many places, many countries, they have mandatorily made volunteering a part of curriculum. You have to spend 3 hours, in a month for volunteering works minimum. So that, from the childhood, that then you engage that person to the society, right? And then they see. So a lot of European also volunteer from India, right? They are part, and this can be done, remotely also. So they communicate with the girl. There is a cultural exchange that happened. So whatever I can do, right? I don't have a lot of connection to get money from the government. Whatever I have, my children's, they spend 3,000, 4,000 in a month on pizza, right? If I stop that, if I give that 3,000 to my village, it is much, much sufficient, right? That is how I look at it. Okay.
Great.
Yeah, so that is my initiative. So whatever personal, at personal level, it is possible for me to give back to the society. I am trying to give back.
So probably you are the first. No, I'm not judging anyone, but
No.
everyone is spiritual at some level. But looking at you, it's very evident that spirituality is a major part in your life. You understand technology to everything, experiences, social responsibility, everything in a light of
No, no,
spirituality.
no, no.
Your
That
your-
you are putting ego inside me. I run away
no, no,
from ego. I run away from ego, and that is the whole cause of this.
no, it's my opinion how I see someone that you love, or you, the way you look at it, you have a spiritual angle to everything, every aspect of life for you has a spiritual angle, that I understand.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes.
So I consider life as a spiritual journey, right? So you must always thanks your God, whatever for whatever you are, for whatever He has given you, and for whatever He has not given you, that also you should be thankful, right? If He have
that
given you certain
is
things, right?
that
Yes,
that ego thing is a popular teaching of Sri Chaitanya Dev for Vaishnavites, isn't it, sir?
yes, yes, yes.
I know because a few of my family members, they later in their lives took
And it
Vaishnavism.
give you an immense sense in the whole worst of thing that is happening around you, everything, right, you crib about things, your life, it would have been much better if your boss was much better, if your country was much better, if your city was much better, if your family was much better, right, everything, right. So you would have been craving negativity, but if take it to the spiritual path, I feel a whole satisfaction, right? Whatever
Yes,
God has given, I am so much satisfied. I wanted to work with my childhood from the electronics. God has put me in this field. What else I required, right?
yeah, that is
Right?
also a way of
Right?
looking at it. Yes, yes,
Right?
definitely.
And if I start
That's something
negativity,
to love.
then
Every
yeah,
day, every moment you get chance to spend with that, that's a big blessing for anyone.
right, right.
Yes, you are
So
right.
yeah, it is a journey. Get that experience, right? And in that journey, see, I going to say, right, when you go for a trekking, right, people go for seeing something, say some beach. Do you think a beach is more comfortable than your house? No, it is not comfortable, right? But we go there for experience, right?
Hmm.
A beach, you have sun coming up, we don't eat. Somehow, some pani puri wala or some plastic guy selling something you eat and survive. Next day you have a stomach problem. Everything is happening, but still you go to beach. Why? To get that
Speed.
experience, right? Now, God has given you to get this spiritual experience. You look at this, right? So that experience, to gather it. Right? So that is how I look at it. So negativity then goes away, right? Anything that comes suddenly to you, it is as a challenge. God has given you an opportunity, challenge to experience that challenge, right?
Yes,
When some challenge come, you look at it. One thing is that you get nervous, right? Suddenly somebody is in hospital. Your child could be in hospital in a very dire situation, right? You can be very nervous, right? But then have a belief in a spiritual path, then you see everything, you can manage it very coolly, right? You may not, your
yes,
internal should be, that is how I think. But sometimes, I am also a human being. I have not, otherwise I would have got nirvana, right? And right, so I am also a human being. It's not that everyone is perfect. We have all the hormones, that those hormones sometimes go high, so you also get angry. But then, this thought I can bring you back,
yeah.
right? Okay.
Uh,
Yeah. So
okay, sir.
Gunmun, very nice talking to you, right?
Yes, that's also a very nice experience from my end. I think viewers will also enjoy this session. We get to know so many things from you, sir. Thank you very much for
Thank you.
coming to our show.
Yeah.
Thank you. Namaskar.
Bye.
Okay.
Bye. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Okay. Bye, viewers. Bye for today.